Our first speaker tonight is going to be Lieutenant Colonel, retired Tim Thomas, retired U.S. Army, former Melbourne City Councilman in Melbourne, Florida. Before Tim comes up, I want to say a few things before I even get into his bio. I met with the City of Melbourne in July of 2024, and I really went to them about the problems we were having, the property where we do claims that help veterans fill out for their claims assistance and benefits. And I tell you, without Tim Thomas being in the room, I don't think many people understood what we truly do. And so he was the one voice in the room that stood beside me in that room in July of 2024 and really helped me get that message across to the help we needed with the chapter. So I want to thank you, Tim, for that. And not only that, the City of Melbourne now is looking at donating us that same property and that facility. And we had a City Council hearing, what's it been, a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago? And the one person that went there with me and sat with me and came up and went up front and talked to the City Council members with me was my friend, Tim Thomas, also a veteran, disabled veteran himself. And again, he explained the power of what we do a second time. So again, I just wanted to explain that before I even get into the introduction. Tim is a friend to all veterans. Tim is definitely a DAV Chapter 32 champion, and I appreciate his friendship. So it's an honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Colonel retired Timothy Thomas. He's a lifelong servant leader whose dedication to our service community and the veterans' cause has left a lasting imprint on the Space Coast. On behalf of the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 32, we extend our deepest gratitude for his extraordinary contributions to our organization and the local veteran community. As a former Melbourne City Councilman, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas' steadfast advocacy, I hate that word, was instrumental in securing the Eau Gallie Civic Center, our home for meetings and special events, a venue that has become vital to our continued growth. Today, we proudly host our 6th and largest event to date, a testimony to his vision and leadership. If you look at all these boards that's alongside us here, we just brought the ones for 2025. But these are all, we try to do one every quarter, but these are all the events we just had in 2025. We thought we couldn't bring them all for 2024, they'd be wrapped around that wall and that wall. So, just a testament. With 23 years of distinguished service in the U.S. Army, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas' record reflects courage and unwavering commitment. From serving 2 combat tours in Iraq to leading a historic recovery mission in North Korea, his career exemplifies duty and honor at the highest level. His leadership extended beyond the battlefield, founding and nurturing Brevard County's largest JROTC program at Vieira High School. Through this program, he has instilled the values and disciplines, leadership, and serves in countless young men and women, ensuring that the next generation carries forward the same warrior ethos that defined his own career. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Tim Thomas, a true champion of community service and enduring spirit on Veterans Day. One day after Veterans Day.
All right, well, good evening, everybody, and it's an honor for me to be here this evening. And I would just like to say a little bit about Rodney and his dedication to the DAV 32 and all the veterans that are in our area. He is so dedicated and then so proactive in getting things done for this community. He's really impressed me, and that's one of the reasons I've really been wanting to champion DAV 32 is because of his hard work and his exemplary efforts that he's done in representing you guys. The other thing I just want to start off with saying too is, this is another great turnout for this venue here at the Eau Gallie Arts Institute. Yeah, you're just going to And so in addition to Rodney and his team just doing a magnificent job here at DAV 32, I hope maybe sometime this coming week, if y'all can email the Melbourne City Council or Melbourne, the city manager, and just thank them for allowing us to use this venue. This is a beautiful venue, absolutely beautiful venue. and has the right amount of space so everybody can do what they have to do and move around comfortably. And so I'm really appreciative of that. So please, if y'all will, sometime this week, let the city of Melbourne know you appreciate their support of DAV efforts here at the Arts District, okay? Appreciate that. One thing I want to do before I get started with my remarks, we had a giant in our community that passed away last week, and that's Rear Admiral Wayne Justice. And if there's anyone to emulate for living a purpose-driven life and impacting people, even after the days of wearing the uniform are over with, is Rear Admiral Justice. Not only did he have a distinguished career in the Coast Guard, but he also, after he hung up the uniform, he became their chairman of Port Canaveral. Then on top of that, he was part of the Military Officers Association. And with that, he was ultimately deeply involved in the Good Deeds Foundation. And for those that don't know the background story on the Good Deeds Foundation, they have helped support the 15 JROTC programs in Brevard County. And oh, by the way, you might not know this, but our 15 JROTC programs are considered some of the best in the state of Florida and also some of the best nationally. And a lot of that is because that was because of the financial resources through the Good Deeds Fund that Admiral Justice was able to give to each one of the schools, as well as to the senior ROTC program at FIT. So what I'd like for us to do tonight, I'd like for us to stand up. If everybody will go ahead and stand up, and I want us to give just about 15 seconds for a moment of silence to honor Rear Admiral Justice. And so if everybody stand and bow your head, we'll give the moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. You know, as I get older, Veterans Day becomes more meaningful. As veterans, we are part of a very distinguished and elite fraternity. Because less than 1%, now think about that, less than 1% of our population ever raises their right hand to protect and defend the Constitution and be willing to possibly even pay that ultimate sacrifice. Less than 1%. And you know what, we sign on that dotted line, understanding that risk. Right now, the population of the United States is 340 million. 340. Our total active duty force is 1.3 million. And we have another 800,000 that are in the Guard and the Reserve, for a total combined force structure of 2.1 million. Now you look at that 2.1 million, that is 0.61%, not 61%. That's 0.61% of 340 million. So actually, we're closer to 0.5% of our population that ever serves. They're really closer to 1%. And so again, that is such an honor. And it doesn't matter if you have served in the Guard, in the Reserves, or if you're an active duty or you're an active duty soldier. You are in an elite fraternity, elite. It doesn't matter if you served 3 years and got out, or you served 20 years or longer. You're in an elite fraternity. It doesn't matter if you served during peacetime, or if you served in the combat zone. You're in a very distinguished and elite fraternity. As I get older, I have a tendency to reflect a lot on life, as I guess we all do as we start getting up there in the golden years. And I think about all the places around the world that I've been to. And I think about the training, some of the high-speed equipment that I got to use. But the most important thing that I think about are the relationships with those I served with and the camaraderie that we developed as a result of that unique bond of being a veteran and serving. It's the good times. It can be the bad times. And it's also learning how to embrace the suck. And for those of you who have never been in the military, you're probably wanting to know, what the heck does that mean? But those that have served in the military, you know what I mean. And what I mean by that that is being in Iraq, and there's no FOB around, there's no forward operating base, there's no cafeteria to serve you a hot meal. You've been eating MREs for 2 weeks, and you're in enemy territory. And then one night they have a surprise for you. They bring MKTs or ration cans that have a hot meal in them. And so they give you a paper plate, and they have these cans, they're passing them around, and they throw you some hot grub down on that plate. And so you're outside your vehicle, and you're eating that food as fast as you can. And all of a sudden, a shamal, a sandstorm comes, and dumps about a gallon of sand on that hot meal. So you're trying to eat your hot meal, but at the same time, you're getting nothing but grit and sand. Okay? That's embracing the suck, right? Then another example is you know, being on a movement to contact mission in Iraq, in enemy territory. You've got to go to the bathroom. What do? You can't stop. So folks, there's only one thing you can do, right? Again, that's embracing the suck. And as this stuff would happen to me throughout my career, you know, I would have a tendency to feel sorry for myself. And I would say, no, you don't feel sorry for yourself, because this is part of being that elite group. Not everybody can do that. And as part of that journey, as part of that, it's part of what we do that makes us special to wear that American flag on our shoulder. And most people, there's no way some people would be able to put up with that. But the elite group, you guys, you girls, we're the elite ones that can do it. And I just, I think about that a lot. But most importantly, like I said, it's the relationships that are formed that really mean the most to me. One thing that General Douglas MacArthur said toward the end of his career, he said that old soldiers never die; they just fade away. And what General MacArthur meant by that is, even after you hang up the uniform, there is, you know, what you should do as a veteran is you still need to be active in the community. You still need to be, you know, building up your country and supporting it in some way or fashion. And so, one of the things that we all share as veterans, we have some common values that we share: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. And one of the things I really worry about with our nation is, man, our young people are being bombarded with Hollywood, social media, and mass media with just negative information about our country. And it's having an impact. And I can tell you, because I'm in the community a lot, and I can see it's having an impact. And so I hope that all of us, you know, after we hang up the uniform, we still continue that service to our country, to try to let other people know, to let these young people know, because of our service and what we have seen by going to other places in the world, to have that sense of comparison of what we have versus other countries, that we can share that with people, especially young people, and make an impact on them, and have a major impact. And so I hope all of you would, you know, maybe through your church, maybe through Brevard County Schools, maybe through some other organization, find a way to reach out and just talk to young people and share your experiences as a military member, and talk about the greatness of our country. Because I'm not sure how much of that they're actually hearing. And it's very important that we continue our service to our country by spreading that word out to these young people. And also, if your passion is not young people, find your purpose. Maybe it's visiting people that are sick in the hospital, maybe through your church. Maybe it's going to a nursing home and visiting, some of the older people there that don't have hardly any family that come by and see them. I can tell you, when my mom and dad were in an assisted living facility, I was shocked at the number of folks that I would go in there and see every time I go in to see my parents, and they would never have family come by to see them. And again, that's another way that we can reach out, we can touch people through service, right? And so again, I hope that y'all will take the words of General Douglas MacArthur, his words to heart, and again, find that passion. And again, don't die, just fade away and continue your service to this great nation. So it's been an honor for me to speak to you guys tonight. I thank Rodney for the opportunity, and God bless you guys.
Yeah. Give it up for Tim Thomas. Thank you, my friend.